When Cara Delevingne changes into a blue thigh-splitting gown for a new clean energy campaign, she looks magnificent in a silver corset. In a series of breathtaking outfits, climate activist Cara Delevingne looked amazing when she appeared for a new renewable energy campaign on Monday. The 31-year-old model was collaborating with the Swedish energy business Vattenfall on a project to promote fossil-free hydrogen as a means of lowering greenhouse gas emissions. She applied a facial mist derived from industrial wastewater while wearing a silver corset for one look before changing into a blue thigh-splitting gown to demonstrate that emissions of fossil-free hydrogen are clean enough to put on your face. For her first look, she posed up a storm in the busty silver corset, which was teamed with a matching choker as she held up the spray. She then changed into the flowing leggy gown that showed off her toned physique as she strutted her stuff. The campaign video shows her getting sprayed with the face mist before taking the plunge from a diving board into the water below. She wore her brunette tresses slicked back and opted for a radiant makeup look to show off her pretty features. Cara said, "Throughout this project, I have learned so much about fossil-free hydrogen. Working with Vattenfall has allowed me to see firsthand how this fuel works and how it can transform entire industries. I'm thrilled to be part of this project and raise awareness about an initiative that demonstrates the huge potential of fossil-free hydrogen in replacing fossil fuels. If it takes applying the emissions on my face to spread this message, I am willing to do it." Fossil-free hydrogen is a fuel that emits water instead of carbon dioxide when used, with Vattenfall aiming to highlight its potential as an alternative to fossil fuels and a shift towards a more sustainable future. The refreshing face mist is made from actual wastewater from a factory using fossil-free hydrogen, but is still clean enough for Cara to spray on her famous face. Vattenfall says fossil-free hydrogen has the potential to decarbonize entire industries and reduce carbon emissions significantly, especially in industries like steel production, which is responsible for 7% of the world's total carbon dioxide emissions. It says the fuel also has the potential to power a broad range of heavy industries. The Vattenfall face mist is not available for sale, with only a limited number of bottles produced especially for the campaign. It comes after it was revealed that Cara and Shailene Woodley are set to co-star in a horror-tinged biopic centered on the life of the legendary thriller author Patricia Highsmith. According to Deadline, Delevingne, who has previously labeled herself bisexual, will star as a lover to Highsmith. Their relationship, which will be featured in The Murderous Miss Highsmith, was one of two romances Highsmith carried on with other women that reportedly inspired one of her most successful novels, The Talented Mr. Ripley. The film will be directed by Alexandra Pechman, who will be making her feature directorial debut with the project. Woodley, who will next be seen in a sci-fi rom-com, stars as Highsmith, who died in 1995 at 74. The feature will examine the author's frame of mind and attempt to expand on how her penchant for violent crime brought her inspiration for her novels. Portrait of a Lady on Fire star Nomi Merlant will co-star with Woodley as the other woman she had a relationship with in the 1950s before penning the hit thriller. Production on the feature will commence in Italy this fall. Cara previously revealed to Vogue in March that she spent part of December and January in rehab after seeing photos published exclusively by DailyMail.com of her disheveled state after attending Burning Man prompted her to get help. "I've had interventions of a sort, but I wasn't ready. That's the problem," she explained. "I hadn't seen a therapist in 3 years. I just kind of pushed everyone away, which made me realize how much I was in a bad place." She also admitted that she had previously sought quick fixes for her substance abuse issues, but now that she was focused on the 12-step program, it was easier to commit to sobriety. "Before I was always into the quick fix of healing, going to a week-long retreat or to a course for trauma, say, and that helped for a minute, but it didn't ever really get to the nitty-gritty, the deeper stuff," she said. But as she puts her struggles behind her, the model is looking to revive her career, starting with her latest major role in the Highsmith biopic. The author, who suffered from an alcohol addiction throughout much of her life, published her first novel, Strangers on a Train, in 1950, and Alfred Hitchcock directed a classic film of the story the following year, which helped to cement Highsmith as a top writer of literary thrillers. 2 years later, she published The Price of Salt under a pseudonym. The novel, later reprinted as Carol under her own name, and posthumously adapted into an acclaimed film starring Cate Blanchett and Rooney Mara, detailed a doomed lesbian romance that was inspired by Highsmith's own life. Several of her other novels have also been adapted for the screen, including Deep Water, which was made into a film last year starring Ben Affleck and Ana de Armas, and her Ripley novels, which have spawned multiple adaptations, including the 1999 film starring Matt Damon. Although Highsmith did have relationships with men, she is often described as a lesbian, as her romances with women were reportedly much more fulfilling. The author, who was known to be misanthropic, cycled through relationships and appeared to only have relationships that lasted a few years at most. This is really a novel approach to examining a person's legacy. and including their world into their life story. The Paris-based production firm Memento stated that the script draws heavily from her writing as it transitions from lovely Italian settings to gory murder fantasies. It said, "This is a fresh approach to the biopic genre that will undoubtedly leave a mark on the audience." The murderous Miss Highsmith hasn't had a publication date set yet.